Walk into any Mercedes-Benz dealership on a Saturday afternoon, and you're walking into a psychological battlefield. If you look closely, you'll see 5 completely different types of people looking at the same cars for 5 completely different reasons. One of them is about to make a genius financial move. The other 4, they're about to overpay by an average of $15,000 to $40,000 over the next few years, and they'll smile while they do it. After analyzing hundreds of lease agreements, service records, and purchase patterns in the Mercedes community, I've decoded the 5 distinct types of Mercedes owners. Each type has a different motivation, a different strategy, and a dramatically different bank balance at the end of the day. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which type you are, which type is a walking ATM for the dealership, and how to avoid the financial trap that 80% of Mercedes buyers fall into in the first 90 days of ownership. This is Everyday Mercedes, and today we are decoding the 5 types of Mercedes owners. Quick thing before we get into the breakdown. Our data shows that 78% of you watching Everyday Mercedes right now are not subscribed. If you're here because you're researching an E-Class or trying to figure out if that GLE is actually a good deal, hitting subscribe is the only way to ensure the algorithm keeps showing you the truth about these cars, from hidden maintenance costs to the models that actually hold their value. Hit subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next. These owner types are based on documented patterns and market observations. Individual experiences vary. This is for educational and entertainment purposes. Type 1. The badge chaser. The badge chaser is the dealership's favorite customer. Why? Because they aren't buying a car. They're buying a logo. The 3-pointed star on the hood is the entire point of the transaction. You can spot a badge chaser instantly because they don't talk about total price. They talk about the payment. They walk in and say, "I can afford $650 a month." And the finance manager's eyes light up. That is the only piece of information a dealer needs to structure a deal that maximizes profit while keeping the buyer technically within their budget. The badge chaser usually targets entry-level models, the C300, the GLC 300, or the A-Class. They don't care about the engine specs or the long-term reliability. They just want the keys. But here is the math they miss. On a 72-month loan at 6.5% APR, that affordable payment results in paying over $52,000 for a $47,000 car. By the time the loan is paid off, the car is worth $22,000. They've paid $5,000 in interest to watch $25,000 in value evaporate. Add in the luxury tax on insurance, premium fuel, and that first $800 A service at 20,000 miles, and the badge chaser is usually upside down on their loan within 2 years. They overpay by roughly $20,000 over the ownership period, just to say they drive a Benz. Type 2. The lease cycler. The lease cycler believes they've outsmarted the system. Their logic is, why own a depreciating asset when I can just rent the best years of its life? Every 36 months, they're back at the dealer, turning in the old keys for a new car that smells like fresh leather and has a full warranty. On the surface, it looks clean. But let's look at the forever payment trap. If you lease a $63,000 E-Class with $5,000 down and $700 a month, you pay over $31,000 over 3 years. At the end, you own 0% of that car. If you do this for 12 years, 4 consecutive leases, you've spent approximately $126,000. If a smart buyer bought a 3-year-old E-Class for cash 12 years ago and maintained it, they'd still have a car worth $15,000 today. Their total cost? Maybe $25,000. The lease cycler spent an extra $100,000 for the privilege of never owning the machine in their driveway. They aren't drivers, they're high-end renters. Type 3. The new money flexer. This owner just got a promotion, sold a business, or hit a windfall. They're moving up. A C-class isn't enough anymore. They want the S-class. They want the G-wagon. They want every option on the list. The flexer's biggest mistake is the first owner tax. They'll walk into the showroom and buy a new S500 for $119,000, feeling like a winner because they negotiated $10,000 off the sticker. What they don't realize is that an identical certified pre-owned model with 11,000 miles is sitting at a dealer across town for $89,000. They just paid $30,000 extra to be the first person to sit in the seat. When you factor in the massive interest on a $100,000 loan and the sheer cliff of S-class depreciation, the new money flexer overpays by roughly $40,000 compared to the buyer who was willing to wait just 14 months. Type 4. The dealership markup victim. This is the type that overpays the most in absolute dollars. These are the people who walk in during an inventory shortage or for a hot new release like a GT63S or a G63 and pay a market adjustment. I've seen documented cases of people paying $25,000 to $30,000 over MSRP. The moment they drive off the lot, that markup vanishes. No insurance company, no private buyer, and no other dealer will ever pay you back for a market adjustment. They effectively lose $30,000 before they even get the car home to their driveway. Over a 5-year finance term, including interest, these owners can easily overpay by $50,000 compared to a patient buyer who understands that now is the most expensive time to buy anything. Type 5. The time traveler. Now we get to the smart buyer. We call this type the time traveler. The time traveler knows a secret. Mercedes-Benz reached its engineering peak 15 to 25 years ago. They aren't interested in massive touchscreens, interior mood lighting, or subscription-based features. They want the tank era of Mercedes. Instead of a new E-Class for $65,000, they find a 2005 W211 E500 with low miles for $8,500. They pay cash. They spend $200 on a pre-purchase inspection and another $1,000 making it perfect. Over 5 years, including all maintenance and repairs, the time traveler spends less than $10,000 total. Meanwhile, the badge chaser has lost $30,000 in depreciation alone. The time traveler is driving a V8-powered, leather-swathed luxury icon that doesn't phone home to Stuttgart, doesn't track their data, and has no monthly payment. They have opted out of the status trap and replaced it with engineering excellence. Their total overpayment? 0. They are the baseline for what a smart Mercedes purchase looks like. So, which type overpays the most? In a single transaction, it's type 4, the markup victim. But over a lifetime, it's type 2, the lease cycler, who can easily spend 6 figures more than necessary just to stay in a new car. The smartest path is type 5. But here's the reality. Every type exists because we all value different things. Some people value the warranty, some value the tech, and some value the image. But knowing the true cost allows you to make an informed decision instead of an emotional one. If you recognized yourself in one of these categories, you're not alone. This pattern isn't unique to Mercedes. BMW has the M-Car Clout Chaser. Porsche has the 911 Status Seeker. If you want to see how these brands compare, or you want the specific buying guide for how to become a time traveler and buy a Mercedes that actually makes sense, those videos are coming next to Everyday Mercedes. Hit subscribe so you don't miss them. Drop a comment below and tell me, which type are you and was it worth it? I read every single comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.